everybody, welcome back to That Fiction Life. Today we're doing a book review of What If It's Us by Becky, Albertalli and Adam Silvera. So you may be wondering what the hell I'm doing with a contemporary book. But a few of you may know that I absolutely will follow Adam Silvera anywhere. That sounds hella creepy, but of course I mean in his writing journey. So here we are. I read a contemporary. So we're going to do a non-spoiler section at the start. We're going to, of course, start with the premise. So this is pretty much a meet-cute kind of book where we have two characters meeting at the post office. You know, it's always been my dream to go mail some boxes and see some nice person that is gonna become my soulmate. But these two people are very silly and they do not exchange numbers. For the beginning of this book, they are trying to find each other, which of course they do, because if they hadn't, there would be no book, and hence there would not be me crying in my garden right at the end. They are two very different, contrasting personalities, but something brings them together. We learn along with them what it's like to be in a relationship. They have their ups and downs. One of the guys is leaving New York at the end of the summer. They have this time limit on their relationship. But what they find very hard is to nail a first date. So of course I'm giving this book 5 stars, and I'm definitely going for an 100% rating. This book is ideal for fans of Will Grayson, any of Becky and Adam's novels, and I Have Lost My Way by Gail Forman. The themes focus very heavily on friendship, family relations, and a lot of firsts. The genre is contemporary, and the POV is dual, so we hear from both Ben and Arthur. There are so many pop culture references in this book that will actually just have you shook, and I'm not exaggerating. We have Dear Evan Hansen, the soundtrack, not the book. Hamilton, the musical. Loki becomes a side character in this book. It is mentioned so many times. I'm living. And you know, the big one being Harry Potter. They're talking about houses and Draco Malfoy is mentioned, you know, just saying. Some of these tabs are actually my favourite quotes from, you know, Harry Potter being mentioned. For example, 20 points to Gryffindor. Fun times. One of my favourite moments, which I'm actually going to tell you right now, is from page 12, so it is not a spoiler, where they just talk about some Harry Potter belongings that Hudson, the ex-boyfriend, had. And they casually just mention, you don't want to look at a Harry Potter wand. You know, I love wands. There's such a wide array of characters in this book. The way friendship is explored is so vivid. I love the different support systems that Ben and Arthur had. And their contrasting personalities were actually a great way to have them bond throughout the book, because you had Arthur, who was so extra about everything, which I relate. He was such a drama queen that I think I'd be best friends with Arthur, but I think I related to Ben more, even though I am a little bit of a drama queen. Just a bit. I am a bit of a Ben when it comes to relationships. So I love them both for different reasons. Because I feel when there's dual perspective books, you prefer one over the other, but I genuinely did not care who I was hearing from at any point in time. So of course this book is very important when it comes to LGBT plus books, because it shows representation. We have a very diverse cast as well. There are some very key scenes. On the more serious side, there are some confrontations that our characters face because of the fact that they are two boys in a relationship, which are hella cute. But you know, some people are just assholes. Something that I really loved about the writing is that it read like a TV show. I felt like I was reading a script. There was so much dialogue. It was a very dialogue heavy book, which is my favourite type to read. I truly cannot recommend this book enough. I had the best time reading it, not to mention how absolutely feels-worthy all of these people are. And it's not just the main characters, you become so invested in everyone's friends and parents. I'll put a link to where you can buy What If It's Us if you'd like to get it. We're now going to move swiftly onto the spoilered section where we can really dig deep. So the initial meeting was so romantic, the back and forth trying to find each other, it was almost frustrating because you wanted them to meet so bad, and I'm not gonna lie, I had an inkling where I thought this book was going to end up being this whole struggle to find each other for the whole plot. Thankfully that did not happen, it's all good. So the first 3 dates, the arcade, the dinner, the park, everything kept going wrong. And I had so much hope for the double date, and I got my wish, because their first kiss was the cutest moment of existence. Because even though their first 3 dates did not go well, you could tell the effort they were trying to put in and that this was something worth fighting for. I love the scene with Arthur and his dad when he's getting ready for the 3rd date. And you know, Arthur says he's wearing cologne, but he could also go full Draco Malfoy with the hair gel if need be. And we all know how much I love that little reference because Hair Gel Malfoy, aka Half-Blood Prince Malfoy, was the best. Samantha's one-liners, I think, are so underrated. At first, Dylan was the only side character that would really stand out to me, but her lines looked so cleverly crafted and they were so funny that I think I understand now why her and Dylan are such a good couple. I'm just going to refer you to my favourite line of hers, which says, "I'm going to be honest, I can't tell if you guys actually had sex or if this is an ongoing joke I need to accept." I don't want to say this is my favourite line in the book because there are much more meaningful and beautiful lines written, but this is my favourite line in the book because it really just showcases how you can have a very non-toxic relationship that is platonic, and it's just these two guys that are best friends, that you can make jokes out of it and it doesn't become a big deal, but also Samantha's hilarious. So their phone call date was my absolute favourite date of theirs. Before this, I felt as though Ben was a bit more distant than Arthur, and I'm not gonna lie, I think a Hamilhead sounds a much better fan name for Hamilton than, what are they called, Hamil fans? Also, I really hope that the Wicked Wizard War is gonna be written somewhere because I want to know in depth fully what happens. You know, this could be a carry-on situation like with Rainbow Rowell. Oh, I just found something I didn't tab but I really should have, which again proves that Ben and Dylan have the best friendship. Morning strip show, he says, Dylan like. I am so here for this. Very positive bromance that they have. Sorry, I just started reading. Whoops. Moving on. The scene where they get harassed on the subway broke me, okay? So this one I was actually reading on a bus. So in public, not a good idea to read these kinds of books because you know when you just want to sob and die inside, but you can't because there's humans judging you. I was so shaken after that scene. Now obviously I can't relate to this kind of situation, but I felt that deep within, and the way that Arthur was affected really struck me, and it was such an important part of the book because up until this point it was a very sort of happy and positive book, which I did really appreciate because it is crucial to have these sort of positive LGBT books where it's just two people having trouble getting together and having normal relationship problems. But the fact that we got this very serious scene was really eye-opening and I think very educational for a lot of people. So when they have their first real fight, when they fail to get the Hamilton tickets, I started to get alarm bells because Adam Silvera is involved with this book. And so you can probably predict some very distressing things to come. And I was right. When they break up, it was like a piece of my soul was ripped out of my body. I feel things a lot when I read, and it's books that actually bring out all the emotions out of me. But this was a whole new version of hell. You know, we've just gone through 300 pages of these people being mega happy just for them to break up. And I thought, excuse me, no? When Ben goes to cry to Hudson, fangirl death in the street, because, you know, as you do, I was walking on the road, okay, not on the road where the cars are because that's dangerous, don't do that, but I was reading on the sidewalk. I see I have this tendency to read the most heartbreaking parts in public. So I'm walking and, you know, my face doesn't look okay. And then it just gets worse and worse because they're fully over and I'm like, hi, when are you gonna get back together? And you know, you just keep turning the pages and it's not happening. Also, little side note, I love this obsession with coffee that we have throughout this whole book because I'm very coffee dependent in my life. When Dylan was in the hospital, I fully thought he was gonna die, and I was so happy that it was kind of an overreaction them going to the hospital. I adore the fact that this is kind of what gets them back together. Just that whole sequence of Dylan pretty much now thinking he's God because he's defied death, very in line with his personality. I just cannot get over him. It is so rare for me to stan a supporting character over the leads. Oh well. I mean, I still remember when he called Arthur Arnold. I choked on my coffee. So we have the thanks for not dying scene, which was everything. The part 3 was my favourite, and it was when they have their triple dates, and that's something I really appreciated about this book. As I said right at the beginning, there's a very profound friendship theme, and when they have their triple date, I'm glad we got to see Arthur's friends in real life too, because we just knew them through phone calls and texts, and that's very impersonal, even though it was cock blocking at its finest. I mean, just... And it's also at this point that I realised that everything that happened pre-part 3 had a purpose, and it fit like a puzzle right at the end. So everything ends on a happily ever after, pretty much. You know, it's my fault. I blame myself. I should have prepared myself for it. But, you know, reading the words for the first time, that Arthur's had these 6 other hookups with these random people at college. See, I know that it's unrealistic for 16/17-year-olds to find their soulmates and everything, but it was still traumatizing to read that they did not end up together as a canon relationship. You know, the ship has sailed, there's no more shipping to be done because they're, you know, together. I had this great conversation with my friend Rebecca, you know, Rebecca Stober. She has a channel, it's great, make sure to check it out. She gave me a bit of a session to talk through this book because I was in pain. And she fully believes that Arthur and Ben are going to get married. But just having to read it, them parting, going off into the sunset as best friends. So yeah, that was feels. The last line of this book, what if we haven't seen the best us yet, really gives me hope for the future. Give them a few years to finish college and they can settle down and be cute and go to the post office together again. So those are my thoughts on What If It's Us by 2 very brilliant authors who did the most tremendous job of bringing this story to life. It was such a fun read. Comment down below if you've read the book, and I want to know all of your thoughts because let's keep discussing. Make sure you've subscribed to my channel. You can do so right here. My last video is just below that. So give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!